started. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Greg Campisi, founder and president of Awaken. So this is all my baby. I started Awaken about 12 years ago now, and it was really just a calling. It was part of my spiritual path. As I was awakening, as I was wanting to get more into spirituality and getting out to events and all that kind of stuff and meditations, there were two things that became very apparent to me as I delved more into my spiritual path, and that was that there were more people out there than I realized that were on a path of awakening and spirituality versus just people who consider themselves spiritual in their religion. And it's a very different kind of thing. It's not good or bad or indifferent. It's just when you're on the path of awakening versus just taking on a spiritual life, it's a little different. So that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight, is about awakening and awakening to your truth, awakening to the truth of life, and how to tap into that. And for me, the other thing that was apparent as I got onto this path was how many people were on this path and really how little support there was for those people. And things have definitely shifted over the past, 10, 15 years as far as spirituality becoming more mainstream, there being more expos like this, more spaces like this. It's beautiful to see, but it's still a little few and far between. And I look forward to the day when there is much more community, and just like you have any town can have several doctors and several dentists and several whatever. Where's all the spiritual centers? Every town should at least have one spiritual center outside of religion. And that's the world that I envision. That's the world that I am aiming for and helping to create and holding in my consciousness, So what we'll do is, last time, because I was a little short on time and I didn't get a chance to really talk more about what's going on, but I want to do the channeling first. So we'll bring a little message for you, and then I'll back that up with a little bit more insight around it. And then I also want to have everybody do a little healing meditation as well. So, all right, thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting us, and just ease into yourself and give me just a moment. Greetings, dear humans. Greetings, beautiful souls, beautiful beings. Thank you for being here at this time. Life is much grander than any of you have yet to realize. And even though we watch from the other side and watch how far you have come, we also know how far there is to go, and how much beauty and magnificence and love there is for each and every one of you, not just from the other side that exists all the time. And it is important for you to realize that, to understand that this love for you, this love for understanding your power and your magnificence always exists. It never ceases to exist. It is always there for you, waiting for you to acknowledge it within yourself. And so it is, we'll say, the most vital thing you can do in life is to awaken to your truth, to awaken to your own power, and discover your own purpose. And discovering your purpose, we'll say, is the least you can do, because as you awaken to who you truly are, you will naturally step into a knowing of how life functions and why you are alive, why humanity is here, why it is part of this grand, beautiful existence, and you will have a knowing of what this life is for. Each of you embodies a unique body, a unique personality, a unique human being. And there is a very, very large diversity of all of you. And it is because in infinity, every and any possibility is true. And here on earth, you are only exhibiting a fraction of the infinite possibilities of what a human can look like, talk like, think like, express like. But each of you is an aspect of creation. Each of you is an aspect of life, an aspect of divinity, of God, of the universe. It is all aspects of creation, regardless of what you want to put labels on. So we will sometimes use the words God or universe interchangeably. It is whatever preference suits you. But at the end of the day, it is all creation. It is all life. It is all experience. So you are here in this unique body for a very specific reason. And we're not here to tell you that reason, because the reason you are so unique is because you chose to be that way. And the reason you are so unique is because you embody a specific energy that is attuned to you in this time, in this being. And understand that energy, we'll use the word ruler, not in any type of dictatorial meaning, but energy is a true ruler of this universe, because energy is what it is all created by, and energy is what you feel every day. Energy is what affects you every day. Energy is what manifests into reality. When you come into this life, you come into a body. That body is birthed from parents, birthed from a mother, but also requires some form of a father. And that carries energy with it. And they don't just carry their own energy, they carry the energy of their parents, and their parents before them, and their parents before them. So all of that energy is passed down on some level. You are your own being, but believe us when we say you are also the child of all humanity. Because all humanity is affected by all of humanity. And all of humanity is affected throughout space and time. Because energy carries on. Now, it carries on in pieces, in percentages. You can always override the power and the energy that surrounds you. And we'll say that again. You can always override the power and energy that surrounds you. Now, this is not to diminish the significance of the power around you, because the collective is a very, very strong force. It's a very, very strong energy. And it is not something that necessarily changes overnight with a single thought, but it can. It can, but it is not likely, because it is such a strong energy. And so you are required to build as strong an energy within yourself to then have that force to withstand the collective energy from outside of you, and build that force within you to actually change the collective energy and force outside of you. And going back to the family unit. So you embody this specific person, this specific being, human being, your own energy, also taking on the energy of your family. And if there's siblings, you have to be affected by energy around you. And that's why families are part of the soul challenge. They are also part of the soul healing. You choose the families you come into, both parents and siblings, because they all form a purpose for your awakening, for your enlightenment, for you to learn what to let go of. You ever notice if you're triggered by your siblings? You ever notice if you trigger your parents? Do you ever notice if your parents trigger you? There's a reason for it, because anytime you are triggered, it is for you to release something you are holding on to. And anytime you trigger someone else, it is for you to help them release something they are holding on to. We just haven't seen it clearly enough yet in humanity for it to work as beautifully and as as gracefully as it is actually meant to work. And that is where awareness comes in. The more awareness you bring into your body and your being, the more aware you become of why life works the way it does, and the more aware you become of why creation works the way it does. There are reasons for everything, and the more awareness you bring into your being, the clearer those reasons become, and the more obvious those reasons become. And you realize that you are not here put into a version of hell living on earth. You are not here put into a version of suffering. You are here to understand life, to create life, to enjoy creating life, creating creation. And once again, in the family, it can seem like the most challenging role for you in this life. It is a microcosm of the macrocosm. Families are close-knit to help you work on yourselves in a much more intimate scenario, because it can be overwhelming trying to work on yourselves looking at the entire collective humanity as the reflection that they are. And so things are reflected on every level. Things are reflected on the macro level. When there's wars happening in the macro level, it also means that there's battles going on within society and within families and within yourself and even within your body, even within your cells. Everything is reflected forward and backward on every level. And it is all part of the grand scheme of things for you to come to the awareness to understand all of it. And when you truly come into understanding all of it, you will love all of it. You will understand why it was created the way it was, and you will have a new appreciation for everything that happens and a true appreciation for why it all happens. And we wish this for you, a speedy awakening, a speedy coming into awareness. And we ask you every day, if you want this for yourself too, if you want this for humanity, focus on awareness. Focus on bringing in awareness. Every time you're triggered, ask for awareness around it. Thank you for this trigger. Why am I being triggered? What am I still holding on to that is blocking my own happiness, my own joy? What am I holding on to that is blocking me from creating the best version of myself? What am I holding on to that is blocking me from creating the best version of humanity that I can, because I am a participant in the collective of humanity? Every one of you has a choice. And when every one of you works on more awareness, everything else follows. And only a little awareness every day helps to shift you and your life. So keep intending, keep holding on, keep bringing awareness into your being. Thank you. All right. So, thank you for that. And one of the things for me with all this information that's been coming through, this information, a lot of information really started coming through to me about 2 years ago now. I'm working on putting it into a series of books. I'm very close to finishing my first book. It is called Lighten Up: From Density to Freedom. It's a series of 3 books. There will probably be more. And I am finally stepping into embracing my role as the messenger. And we were talking about this a little bit before, because I've been on the spiritual path for quite a while, but it's been more recently with this coming through that I've really felt the calling to just embrace myself as the messenger, to share this information, and to keep encouraging everyone to keep bringing more awareness into your life. Keep bringing more awareness into who you are. Keep bringing more awareness into why you are here, why you are in the families that you're in, why you attract certain people into your life, what you have to learn from them, what you have to see in yourself from them, what they have to show you as a reflection, and let that go out. As it was stated before, I promise you that everything works on every level, and what is on the microcosmic level, even inside of us, even down to our cells and our atoms, is a reflection of something a little bigger than that, and a little bigger than that, and a little bigger than that. One of the things I realized is that time takes time. And so if we want the entire world to shift, even though it would be wonderful to see that overnight, because it is such a strong energy, it will take time to shift the world. But the world will shift because creation always keeps moving on. It always keeps moving forward. It's what it does. It is the only way life moves. Life keeps moving on. And so to shift the larger collective, because it's such a strong energy, it can be overwhelming. So we work on ourselves. So we're here to shift ourselves. And I am here to remind you as many times as I need to, for as long as I need to, that all of humanity is a miracle. All of humanity is a gift. All of life is a gift, and we are part of it. Not only are we part of life on this earth, we are arguably the most intelligent species. We're not really sure about that yet. Whales are pretty smart, pretty intuitive. They might have one up on us, but there's a reason that we are the beings that we are on this planet. And there's a reason that we're all here together. There's a reason we were gifted this experience, and there is so much more waiting for us. There's so much more waiting for us individually and as a whole. And me personally, I see the whole. I see the bigger picture, because for us to claim our place in this universe, we have to cut the shit out and stop fighting with ourselves before we're going to be able to join the greater collective. I promise you, there is other life in the universe, because it would literally be insane for us to be the only intelligence and the most intelligent intelligence in this whole infinite universe. So they are all out there waiting. And while there are plenty of stories about them visiting, the reason I believe that we're not actually communicating on a regular basis is because they're waiting for us. They're waiting for us to get our shit together. They really are. And it's not on any level of judgment. They're very patient. It'll take as long as it takes for us to come together, and we are. That is the other thing, is I want everyone to understand on every level that regardless of what's happening in the world, we have come a very long way in a positive direction. Humanity is doing amazing. Everyone here is doing amazing. The fact that you're in this room, that you're at this expo, means you're doing amazing. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean you're doing amazing every day and every minute of every day. But I promise you, you are an amazing being if you have come this far with this much awareness and realization that there's more to life. And there's more than just arguing and fighting. And when we talk about what's going on in the bigger picture versus what's going on with us, the real awareness comes in when you really start to dig in on subtle levels of, okay, it bothers me that there's war and fighting out in the world. Okay, is there fighting in my family? Is there fighting among me and people that I know? Is something in my body fighting itself? These are all things to look at. It's all about bringing in awareness. So I'm going to ask everybody to close your eyes. We're going to do a little meditation. And I'm going to ask everyone to start with 3 deep unifying breaths. So everybody breathe in and out. And breathe in, big, full, deep breath in and out. And one more time. Breathe in and out. Now imagine yourself out in nature, in a beautiful meadow. And that meadow is surrounded by trees. And in front of you, you see a path through the trees. Beautiful path, sunlight shining down, and you feel it calling to you. So you start walking towards the path, and you hit a wall. It's an invisible barrier in front of you. And you try to go around, but you're feeling this invisible barrier everywhere you go. And you realize that this barrier is part of your being. This is an energetic wall that you have put up. And you've put it up to protect you. Anytime we build barriers around ourselves, we do it out of protection. It's not anything to be judged. It's a way that we needed to protect ourselves against pain. And it is there for a reason. So the question is it still needed? Because most of our energetic barriers we put up when we were young. And now that we've come so far and we've learned so much, we forgot to let the barriers go. So I want you to take a moment, put your hands up against the barrier and feel into it and ask why it was there, what it was there to protect you from. I'll give you a moment to really feel into it. And whether you got an answer or not, you always have the choice in the moment to let go. So if you know what this barrier is for, if it is something you no longer need to hold on to, you can ask it to dissipate, to release, to go back out into the universe. And even if you're not sure why the barrier was there, understand that you still have the choice now to let it go. And so, one way or the other, thank the barrier for being there, for protecting you. Thank it for protecting you for all these years. And let it know that it's okay to let you go. It's okay for the barrier to let you go. You do not need to be protected like you were protected as a child. You may take on being the protector of yourself. You may also choose to no longer need protection, to choose to live in a life that's safe, in a world that's safe, and to surround yourself only with loving, safe energy, and so you no longer need protective barriers. And so you ask this barrier of energy to return to the universe, to return to where it came, and hold gratitude for it. And once it dissipates, you are free to walk down the path into the woods And as you walk along, you see a clearing. And in the center of that clearing is a chair made of crystal, pure crystal. And you're going to sit down in this chair. And it is channeling the power of Mother Earth, of Gaia, from the center of the earth, channeling healing energy, loving energy, to help you let go of anything else you are ready to release. And it is here to amplify your intentions. So any of you now that wish to bring more awareness into your life, you may ask for it, and you may ask that Mother Earth help bring this awareness to you, and that Mother Earth help clear any density that you're holding on to, help clear any other walls that you're holding on to. And this is the place for you to sit and declare yourself as an aware being, ready to let go of anything that has blocked your vision, that has blocked your knowing, that has blocked you from seeing your true power. And Mother Earth asks if you are ready to live a life of awareness in the truth of knowing who you are and your own worth as a son and daughter of creation itself, as a sovereign being on this earth, as part of this earth, as part of the purpose of this planet. If you are ready to take on that role, then acknowledge that with Mother Earth. Acknowledge that you are ready, that you are willing, and I ask that you also make the commitment to allow more awareness into your life and to be open for the messages and the lessons that will be coming to continue helping you become a more aware being. And you feel this crystal chair vibrating. It starts to light up. You feel a vibration. You hear a tone. These are healing frequencies, helping to break apart any density within you, any density that you're holding on to, helping to free your mind of any past beliefs that were from your childhood, that were there to protect you as a child, that you can now release as an adult. These vibrations are here to help you step into being who you truly are. And you look up and you see the sun shining down. A beam of light comes down from the sun. You feel its warmth. You feel its beauty. You feel its knowing. And you understand that you are supported and cared for on every level in this life. You are supported and loved and cared for by all of life itself, by the earth itself, by the universe, by God. And for all of that life to love you as much as it does, there is a reason for it. It is because of the amount of worth and beauty that you hold in this single body. Take a deep breath in and breathe in all of the healing energy and rays. And let it out with a big sigh. And again, breathe in. And let it out with a big sigh. And one more time. In. And really let it out. Ah. And when you are ready, you can come back to this room, to this awareness now. How's everybody feeling? Good? So, we have a little more time. I'm going to share a little bit more information with you. And then if anyone has any questions, you can ask. So, when we start seeing things on an energetic level, and when we start understanding things on an energetic level, things start making a lot more sense. And it also helps create a space to release judgment. There's no reason to judge energy. There's no reason to judge the wind. Sometimes the wind is strong, sometimes it's gentle. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's really cold, to the point that you want to run away. Energy is the same way. Energy just is. And we feel it on every level. And those of us that keep bringing more awareness into our life start understanding more and more that everything really is about energy. Period. Everything happening really begins with energy, and everything just is a manifestation of energy. And every interaction you have with people in your life is happening on an energetic level. And we all know this, but we're not really taught it. We're not really taught to live life on an energetic level. We live in a physical world, and a lot of people only see that level of things. And so a lot of what we're taught is only about interacting on a physical level. I mean, we go to school, and beyond the first couple years of just teaching us how to be a human and talk and speak and interact, that's all important. But most of the rest of school is just preparing us for a job. And most jobs are about making physical things and selling physical things. Or it's about a service that may or may not even matter. Now, that's not everything. There are a lot of services that do matter, and there are a lot of products that help us in our life. So I'm not judging any of it, but it is about bringing into awareness of here we are, alive, human beings, and what do we actually want out of life? And that's the question I want you all to leave here with. What do you want out of life? And I want you to ask that on two different levels. What do you want out of this life, meaning your own life in this body, in this embodiment? What do you want out of this life that is yours? And the other side of it is asking, what do you want out of life as a whole? What do you want to see all of humanity doing, being? interacting, a lot of the way we've lived becomes the way we have been taught, which is a very negative perspective of things, of constantly seeing what's wrong and constantly talking about what's wrong. And not enough of us are taught to flip that and talk more about what's right or what you want to see in the world and see more of in the world. But the other part of that is even those of us, like us here in this room, that have spent days, years, decades, maybe most of their life walking in more awareness, we'll say, than a lot of other people. How often do any of you spend each day putting energy into the world you would rather see, and putting energy into the life you would rather see, and putting energy into the relationship you would rather see? And it really is that simple. And it doesn't mean it happens overnight, but it is that simple. And this isn't about judging ourselves either, because that doesn't help. That's just going to bring our vibration down. It is about awareness. It is about bringing in awareness of how often have I actually done this in my life, let alone this year, let alone today. Because we all spend a whole lot of time talking about the things that are wrong. And there's not enough of us talking about what's right or talking about the world we want to see. So as a little homework assignment for you, bring awareness into yourself and your life to when you get into conversations about things going on. And a lot of times it's out of your personal control because other people are bringing it up. But use that as an opportunity to agree or disagree, that doesn't matter. But then say, hey, if somebody's complaining about what's going on in the world, politics, whatever, say, how do you want to see it? Switch it. Let them dig into what they want to see. And see if you can keep them on track with just following a little bit of a positive thread of putting that energy towards, this is actually the world I'd rather see. This is how I'd like things to be. This is how I'd like things to be created. And spend time with yourself, even if it's only a minute. I'm not even going to make it hard for you. 1 minute in the morning or the evening. Just spend a minimum of 1 minute. If you want to make it 5 minutes, if you want to make it an hour, awesome. But just 1 minute a day, 1 minute a day. Put that positive energy into, this is the relationship I want to see. This is the family I want to see. This is the society I want to see. This is the world I want to see. This is the life I want to see for myself. It really doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. And another little thing I want to share with you that came through that made a whole lot of sense is we live in the present moment. As soon as you put out an intention, that intention is energy. That intention exists outside of space and time. You cannot uncreate an intention. I'm going to say it again. You cannot uncreate an intention. But what can happen is interference. And there's a lot of interference in this world. So when you put out a positive intention for what you want in your life, what you want in the world, I'll say it again, you cannot uncreate that intention. However, other energy can interfere with it coming to fruition, with its original power, like a radio station. The radio station, it's playing. That channel, right, is sending out that signal. That station is always there whether you're tuned into it or not, right? It makes a lot of sense. That radio station is playing whether you're listening or not. God's voice is always listening, whether you're tuned in or not. Your guides and your angels, their voices are always calling you, whether you're tuned in or not. It's whether you're tuned in or not. And usually if you're not tuned in, it's just because there's interference. Interference from the outside, interference from ourselves inside. It's all just interference creating static in that signal. So know that your guides and your angels and God itself is always sending you the message, trying to reach you. You just need to clear the static and tune in. And the opposite is also true. Your intentions are always going out into the world, going out into the universe to be heard, but there's static. So your job is to keep reinforcing the signal that you're putting out. Keep reinforcing your signal and keep clearing yourself so that you can hear the signals coming in. So that is my wish and message for you. Thank you all for being here.